Good morning. Happy Friday. We're early. Excuse me. So you guys know the deal. I'm just going to take a minute, see if some of you guys get on here. Um, Answering my real estate agent. Let me know when you guys jump on, if you would. Share this. Should be an interesting show. Like I said, we're a little early today, but we're going to get started. A lot going on. Another fantastic week. I hope it was a good week for everybody out there. Again, welcome. This is your HMG weekly wrap up. If this is your first time here, I'm your host, Adam Bird, founder of Heroes Media Group. And I do this, try to do it every Friday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. So jump on, let me know you're out there, and say hello. Let's not forget, November is the month of thankfulness, right? November is National Veterans and Military Families Month, which honors and celebrates the contributions of our military community. Absolutely love it. Shay Sparks Show, I see you over there on IG. Mrs. HMG is on. Hello. Share this out. Let me know where you guys are at in the world. I'm going to get started because we got a lot going on, and I'm always busy. But I love doing these. Gabriel, what's up, brother? How are you? Fun fact about this gentleman, Gabe. Gabe is going to be doing he's been harping on me to do a new podcast starting in 2025. Like, I don't know what was it, like Veterans in the Mist or something like that. And basically, it's going to be funny. It's a comedy, but it's also makes you wonder, like, what are we thinking? So I'm putting this out there that it's his idea. It's basically guys talking in the shower. Isn't that right, Gabe? Two guys talking in the shower, not the same shower, kind of like side by side, just having a conversation. So, I say that with all warning. If we haven't been banned already, it's on its way. So, my brother Kenneth, good morning to you, brother. I see you doing a lot of 3D printing down there, man. That's awesome. Appreciate you. Shay Sparks, good morning, sunshine. How are you? Be talking about you here pretty soon. Stay tuned for that. So appreciate you guys jumping on. Make sure you share this. Might as well give the news now. It's going to be a shocker. Several of our videos have been deleted and banned. Apparently, I said some things that some of these social media platforms did not like, even though I was quoting from mainstream media. But it happens. So I need you guys to kind of wonk the algorithms, if you would, and share this out. So either way, and since Ken's on right now, I think I'm gonna try to share this if I can, see if it lets me. And it's not letting me share a picture of it. I'll bring it up. I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier. I got two guys that was in the military with. Ken's on, and another gentleman, David Gordon, on. They're going to be doing a new show called The Grumpy Old Guys. That's coming in 2025 as well. So I'm throwing that. I gotta watch what I say, because those guys they'll get at me. In all seriousness, we want to do a show, and we're talking about that. So stay tuned for that. Lots coming up in 2025. I'm loving it. Mr. Campbell, how are you, sir? Appreciate you jumping on this morning. Thank you. We'll be talking about you here pretty soon as well. My good friend Mark over on Instagram. How are you, brother? We need to connect. I tried calling you, so let's get together this weekend if you can. Uh, another busy man, huge. Mark's a big podcast guy. Been doing it much longer than I have. He's been a mentor these last year and a half that I've known him. He's a great gentleman, and I love him to death. So IG is lighting up. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Ga- okay. Keep the comments coming, guys. I love it. Let's go ahead and get started. It's again, fun week. It's been a fun week, a lot coming up. I'm excited. I got the first look at the new Heroes Media Group website that we're hoping to have out here in the next couple of weeks. This has been probably something that we've been working on for the latter part of a year now. I think we started this project last October, November time frame, and beginning of the year, we had some things going. We took a different direction with it, so we kind of had to start from scratch, and then got working on it this summer. And now I finally got a sneak peek of what it looks like. I think we have a decent website now, and it's been good for us. But the new site is it pops. I mean, it comes out. It's almost like 3D, and it's easier to navigate, um, easier to use on different devices. So whether you're on your computer or your tablet or your phone, it comes in really nice. And I'm just talking about November being the month of thankfulness. I'm so thankful the people that have surrounded HMG, that work with us, people that have become family. I appreciate each and every one of you that jump on here, leave the comments and whatnot. So thank you all so much for dropping in and saying hello each and every week that I do this. It really does mean the world to me. Let's go ahead to Gabe. Let's go ahead and I usually like to start the show. I got a couple of new people on here and some of the platforms here. What I usually like to do is I like to take some of the news articles that you see out in the news and kind of chat about them just a little bit. And I think this has been a really busy week because last week the president-elect Donald Trump is going to be the 47th president of the United States, and he's been making a lot of uh, changes and stuff already. So the first one that found was RFK Jr. nominated as the head department of the Health and Human Services. I'm kind of curious of what you guys think about this. I think this is a good thing. I think some of he's definitely stirring the pot right out the gate, and he's not even in office yet. But RFK Jr. being the head of the Health and Human Services, this is for far too long. Americans have been crushed by the industrial food complex and the drug companies who have engaged in deception, misinformation, and disinformation. Okay, and let me say this real quick. This is coming from a mainstream media outlet. Okay, so social media, when you're watching this is just merely repeating some things that everybody else has already written about. So don't flag me for this. But I find it very interesting because he's already been given the task. Mr. Kennedy's been given the task to restore these agencies to the traditions of the gold standard scientific research and beacons of transparency to end chronic disease epidemic, and make America great and healthy again. There's a big problem with obesity in this country. You talk about different pharmaceuticals and pollutants, harmful chemicals, the pesticides that they put on our fruit and stuff like that. It's not good. A lot of these things are banned in other countries. You wouldn't really know that. The average Joe wouldn't really know that unless they did some research and looked for this kind of things, because it's not necessarily something that they share out in the open. You kind of got to look for it. So, interesting move. Well, let's see how it goes. Next up, I found this to be very interesting. FBI raids apartment of CEO after his company predicted a Trump win. So the FBI reportedly raided, and this is coming from the New York Post. FBI raided an apartment of Shane Copeland, CEO of the election betting company Polymarket, after the company predicted that Donald Trump would win the 2024 presidential election. Now, according to the New York Post, the FBI conducted the raid at 6 a.m., demanding that Copeland hand over his phone and other electronic devices. Sources say, with a manner that told the outlet that the raid was a quote, grand political theater at its worst, and the FBI could have asked his lawyer for any of these things. Instead, they staged a so-called raid so they can leak it to the media for use of obvious political reasons. Now, that being said, did it work? Did it not? I'm not here. I just found it interesting that the three-letter agencies get involved with that. Do I believe that we're being told the whole story? No. And is that a shock? Should that be a shock for all of you? No, should. So I'm kind of curious what transpires after this. He wasn't charged. The CEO, he wasn't charged with anything. They just kind of raided his house, took his stuff, and that was it. So I'm sure we're going to see a lawsuit transpire from that. Gene, what do we have here? Yeah, it's interesting. I'm gonna go with Gene says something here about the RFK comment. I think it's interesting, and you look at RFK's background, how he ran, and then now working with Trump. I mean, that's a political powerhouse in my opinion. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Here's one that is getting a lot of notoriety right now. Donald Trump nominates veteran Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. In a statement, Trump praised Hegseth for a lifelong dedication to America, stating that Pete has spent his entire life as a warrior for the troops. Those of you that don't know Pete was former Fox and Friends. He was on Fox and Friends quite a bit since 2014. He since has stepped down to prepare his duties in Washington. He is Hegseth. Trump also added Hegseth leading the Defense Department. America's enemies are on notice. Our military will be great again. America will never back down. Hegseth's military background includes tours to Iraq and Afghanistan, earning him 2 Bronze Stars and a combat infantryman's badge. I've met Pete on several occasions. Stand-up guy, in my opinion. Great guy, very down to earth. And he's also a no BS kind of guy. Not everybody's excited about this on both sides. There's a couple people on the Republican side who think, let me think about it. Most people have been supportive. On the other hand, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat from Massachusetts, the one that can't decide. Well, I'm not going to say it. She criticizes the nomination, claiming that a Fox and Friends weekend co-host is not qualified to be the Secretary of Defense. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. Again, what are your guys' thoughts on Pete Hegseth being the nominee for Secretary of Defense? I think it might be a good call. He's definitely got some experience. So let's see what happens there. Rich LaMonica, what's going on here? Let's see there. What's going on with Rich and the Misfit Nation? On the road to Athens, Georgia. Georgia versus Tennessee, Misfit Nation, HMG. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If you guys aren't following Misfit Nation, make sure you do so. Rich is going down for the Georgia-Tennessee game. That's awesome. Safe travels, brother, and have a blast. We look forward to the posts. Next up, This is the last news article that I have here for this week, and then I got some exciting news I want to share from you. Fired FEMA employee says avoiding political hostile homes is not an isolated incident. This happened earlier this week, and this was covered quite a bit on the news. I don't know, found it to be interesting, but uh, fired FEMA supervisor Marnie Washington said that it's the agency's policy to avoid politically hostile homes. According to information obtained by the Daily Wire, whistleblowers alleged that FEMA bypassed at least 20 homes discriminating against Trump supporters. That's sad. But Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced that the state's Division of Emergency Management would be investigating the incident. So hopefully, it's sad that an organization like FEMA, if this comes out to be true, that this is something that they did, it's sad because they're supposed to be there to help, and to have people within that organization do that because they disagree with somebody's political stance is sickening, quite frankly. Rich, is a civilian position. A change is needed. Yeah, you are absolutely correct there, brother. Absolutely correct. And I'm assuming that's in regards to Pete's position. Listen, I know I got some Marines that are watching on here. Tony Abiscato, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. I wasn't going to talk about the Marine Corps birthday because it happened, and everybody knows for like leading up to the Marine Corps birthday, for solid, I don't know, 10, 11 days before the Marine Corps birthday, everybody's talking, you know about it. But I got to bring it up even after the fact because there was something special that happened in Philadelphia for the Marine Corps birthday this year. Ton Tavern. Those of you that don't know, the Ton Tavern was the original birthplace of the United States Marine Corps. And there's right now, if you've ever been to Philadelphia, there's a sign that says near here was the birthplace of the Marine Corps. I'm paraphrasing, but Ton Tavern was the name of that place. So there's an organization called the Ton Tavern Foundation. I believe that's what it's called. And I'm going to post it's their website is theton.org. They had a groundbreaking on the Marine Corps birthday. There was 6,000 Marines. Well, 6,000 people, majority of them Marines, for this groundbreaking event. I believe it's about 250 yards or 250 feet, something like that, from where the sign is in Philadelphia. They are rebuilding Ton Tavern. And if you go to the website, theton.org, you can take a look at it. All the Marines out there, I can hear you yelling. I don't want to open up my window because you can hear you guys yelling all over the country that you guys got your birthplace being rebuilt. I think that's exciting, quite frankly. So the groundbreaking event happened this year with the plans of it opening its doors next year, 2025, for the 250th celebration. So I thought that was worth bringing up. I thought it's really cool. So stay tuned for that. Something else that I think is pretty exciting. Especially with everything that's kind of going on. There's so much negativity going on in the world right now, and we need laughs, right? Yeah, that's a lot of crayons to hand out. Yes, it is. Laughter is a thing that I think will bring people together, right? And there's a new streaming comedy series out right now called Office Joe. And I just want to take a minute to talk about it. How many people have seen Office Joe? It brings humor to the veteran and civilian life transition. It's absolutely hysterical, quite frankly. And I believe it's an all veteran cast, if I'm not mistaken. But Office Joe, it's a new comedy series that premiered on November 11th, just in time for Veterans Day. And it was created by Nick Palmisano, who's an Army veteran, a New York Times best-selling author, and award-winning documentary filmmaker. For some of us older vets, we would Nick was also the founder of a t-shirt company back in the day called Ranger Up. I've had the pleasure of shaking hands with Nick. I've met Nick on several occasions in passing. We've been to several events where he's been at. Had the privilege of interviewing him in my early days of podcasting, him and Tim Kennedy. But this and everything that Nick kind of touches he's done a lot for the veteran community over the years. He's also one of the co-founders of Save Our Allies, which is a nonprofit organization. He did another one, and it's I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it was a comedy as well. He's done a lot of. It's cool to see guys like him doing so many, and he's bringing so many other veterans in the mix with this. But this Office Joe is freaking hilarious, and it's needed. But here's the cool thing about this: when you're watching this, the series just isn't. It's not just about the laughs. It's about opening doors for veterans in the entertainment business. It's a growing movement that's been expanding opportunities for vets on film sets, TV projects over the past several years. So if you're not doing anything this weekend, or you're looking for a new series to watch, Office Joe is available on multiple streaming platforms. I highly encourage you to go check it out. You will not be disappointed. And again, this is everybody thinks, oh, it's a veteran, it's all veterans, blah blah blah. It's freaking hilarious. Whether you're a veteran or not, it's needed right now. In the world that we live in, this couldn't have come out at a better time. So don't be surprised if over the next month or two you start seeing people. Maybe we'll see Nick come on the show. Maybe we can get Nick to come on Friday morning to co-host a weekly wrap-up with us and talk about Office Joe and do a kind of behind the scenes. Maybe we can get some of the actors from the show, and don't be surprised if some of the podcasts on HMG interview some of these people. You may or may not see that happening here in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. But again, this weekend, go check it out. You want something new to watch? They're vets. Great way to support the veteran community. Go check out Office Joe on your favorite streaming platform. It's a Texan. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? It's been a while. Appreciate you jumping on. Weekend event. Want to talk to you about. This was supposed to happen on Veterans Day weekend. It did not, and that is not the image I thought I had. Gave the wrong one, but that's all right. This actually is taking place this weekend. So this event here is over at the Pueblo Reservoir, which is in Colorado, happening this weekend. If you're registered for this event, go check it out. But it's happening tomorrow. If you want more information on it, Gene just jumped on there. He's the one handling it. It's his organization. Go to check out True Patriot Outfitters, or send them an email at truepatriotoutfitters@gmail.com. This is a pretty cool event. If you're into camping and fishing and everything like that, this is definitely the thing you want to do. So go check that out. What do we got next? Next up, we have, if you're in Northern Maryland or in Pennsylvania, we got a bingos night coming out in support for Warriors on the Water. Here's the flyer right here. You can go to warriorsltd.org to get more information. Doors open at 4:30. Games start at 6 p.m. They're going to be food, beer, cider, raffle items, door prizes. It's just fun for everyone. Go check it out. And you can find more information. Warriors on the Water LTD is a nonprofit organization that takes veterans and first responders out, and they are based in southern Lancaster County here in Pennsylvania. So give them a check out. Love it. What else do we got? Army Navy coming up soon. Who's excited about that? This guy. Anybody going to Army Navy? Anybody coming out for Army Navy? Speaking of Army is off this weekend. And how about they're still undefeated. They got a bye week this week, and then they head down to Notre Dame on the 23rd. Gonna be a tough one, but fingers crossed. This is not. I just realized I did not mean to throw the cup up there. I've done that twice, but Leinenkugels. If you, I'm not a beer drinker anymore. Used to Leinenkugels, Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, near my hometown. They've been brewing beer since 1867, and I got some sad news that they're closing their brewery in Chippewa Falls. It's owned by a bigger organization, or I think Coors Miller or Miller's Cooler, whatever it's called, down in Milwaukee. They own them now, but they're closing the Chippewa Falls location. Sad news. Anyway, that was not in the script. I'm just saying. I just saw that. Figured I'd throw that in there for all you Liney drinkers out there. Military Creator Con, Thursday, January 16th. 2025. I'm going to be in Orlando with a whole bunch of friends for Podfest. And on the 16th, within Podfest, we're doing what we call Military Creator Con. Want you guys to come check it out. It's going to be a good time. It's from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. We got speakers coming in. We're going to have some get-togethers. We're going to have authors. If you are an author, come check it out. Talk about your book. We want to hear from you. Here's the Eventbrite page for it too. There, I just posted that. That looks like that went to Facebook and YouTube. Still time to sign up. Military Creator Con, Thursday, January 16th. Orlando. It's at the Residence Orlando at SeaWorld. It's going to be it's always a good time. It's always a good time when we get together. So check it out. Let's get into some of the shows here now. First up, we got True Patriot Outfitters show, Doc Talk podcast. Again, I just brought it up. I'm going to pop this up right here. This is what's going on. This is them. They're doing that right now, this weekend. They're getting ready. Gene just said they're getting ready to head out. So check it out. So what can you expect from them? Monday's show. They do a live show on Monday on their Facebook page, and they're going to be talking about it's Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. They're going to recap the weekend, recent bass fishing news, kayak safety tips in general that you do in the winter. And then he'll have some pictures and stories from this weekend's event and whatnot. It's a great show. We're glad to have it's a newer show on the network, and absolutely love the topics that they cover. So go check them out. True Patriot Outdoors, their Doc Talk podcast. Next up, had a great interview last night. Cadets on the Gridiron. This show is going to be coming out later today, maybe tomorrow at the latest. But I got to speak with sophomore fullback Jake Rendia. Great kid. Hails from the state of Montana, and we get to hear kind of his story, why he chose West Point, and he is he's just an all around good dude, and it's fun talking to these young men about kind of like what they see for their futures in the military. And the sophomores are just like, man, it was funny. I'll share this real quick. Jake was just like, I said, Jake, what do you want to branch? He's like, sir, I just want to get to Friday. Like, today's Thursday. I just want to get to Friday. Like, he's just laid back, and he's got a great attitude. I think you guys will love it. If you haven't checked out Cadets on the Gridiron, go check it out. I started the show to give an inside look of the heart of West Point football. They got a 190-man roster on there, and the stories. We talk a lot about sports, college sports, and you don't come to HMG to see what the score was. You'll find that on CBS or ESPN and stuff like that. What you don't hear is these future leaders stories, like who these guys are. Um, and we've had a lot of positive feedback on this show, and it is exclusive. It's not, I don't want to say it's exclusive on HMG, but there's no Facebook page for it. It's HMG. You can go to Heroes Media Group to find it, or you can go to Apple or Spotify. Those are the platforms that you can listen to this particular show. Cadets on the Gridiron. Check it out. Next up, we got Faith, Valor, and Growth. This week, J Mac and Dominic present a profound, exploration of personal development, resilience, and spiritual insight. This episode examines the complexities of personal growth, the vital importance of a robust support system, and the transformative power of faith. It serves both a reflective and instructive narrative, encouraging listeners to consider their path and the ways in which they can too embody faith, valor, and growth. This was one of our newer shows. They do 2 episodes a month. Go check it out. Faith, valor, growth. Excuse me. Let me say this real quick. Those of you that are interested in the podcast shows, you can find a list of all the shows that we have here on HMG by going to the website, heroesmediagroup.com. It's at the bottom of the screen, scrolling across there. Next up, we have the Strategic Veteran. This week, Adam speaks with Mark Toner, overcoming trauma and inspiring veterans. Mark's a retired Navy lieutenant commander who served for 22 years. And in this heartfelt interview, you get to learn more about Mark, his journey through his personal trauma. And they talk about Mark's mission today, which is to inspire others with similar challenges that he faced by advocating for mental health and finding purpose in helping others. Absolutely awesome. Check it out. It's called The Strategic Veteran. David Gordon, good morning to you, brother. How are you? Appreciate you jumping on. Next up, Senior Living Guide.com podcast. This week, Ray Arch is he's with Exact Sciences, joins this week to talk about colon cancer. Yeah. How many of you puckered when you hear me say that right now? Oof. They explore the various screenings options that are available, including non-invasive at-home testing and traditional colonoscopies. Ray will unpack the key factors influencing these choices, such as frequency, patient preferences, and the importance of early detection, which significantly improves survival rates. Very important topic, and this was actually a really good show to listen to. So check it out, Senior Living Guide podcast, or seniorlivingguide.com podcast. Next up, we welcome back a long-awaited Shay Sparks show. Season 11 is here, and she comes in full force. Question for you guys. How do you find courage to clear your name after being falsely accused and your name being spread through the mud in the media? Well, let me tell you something. This episode, you'll learn some of that. Ian Murray's name has been cleared legally with proving no wrongdoing after his attorney reached a settlement with the Jacksonville, Florida Sheriff's Office. He was wrongfully arrested, and his name was smeared with a false media campaign. He served with the Army Reserves alongside being a correction officer in Florida with the Sheriff's Department. This is kind of a hard one to listen to because you hear what he went through, and then only to find out later on that it was all false. and what they did to him was it did sucked. It did sucked. So check it out. It's quite an interesting episode. It's called the Shay Sparks Show. Next up, we got Patriots Inside the Wire with Tracy Two Steps. She did her live last night on her Facebook page, and they featured North Texas Warrior Golf Association. It's a dedicated organization committed to supporting combat wounded veterans in their transition to civilian life through golf and social integration. Excuse me. Good show. Good show. Interesting organization. It was my first time hearing about them. I liked it, what they're about. So check it out. Patriots Inside the Wire. It's one of those shows. She does a show a couple times a week on Facebook Live. So by all means, go check it out. Next up, Bump in the Road podcast. I love this episode. Caroline, call sign Blaze, Jensen's journey from young girl dreaming of flying to becoming a trailblazing fighter pilot and Thunderbird. That's right. I said it. She was a fighter pilot and she was part of the Thunderbirds. This was a remarkable story. You hear about the challenges that she faced and some of the triumphs that she achieved. This is a very inspirational type episode. Love it. Bump in the Road podcast. Check it out. Next up, we got the Arms Room show. This week, they're discussing guerrilla medicine. Love this show. It's the OG show of HMG based down in Arizona. They do training all over the country. You can go find their stuff at their parent company, Independence Training. Go to Independence Training or independencetrainingaz.com or just follow them on any of the social platforms, Independence Training, or you can find their stuff on the Arms Room as well on Instagram. So go check it out, get some training done. Hands down. I mean, we do any training that I do, I go through them because they know their stuff and they travel all over the country training everybody. So it's awesome. You got to check it out, the Arms Room. Next up, Misfit Nation podcast. Rich was on here a little bit ago as he's traveling down to Georgia for the Georgia-Tennessee game. This week, he speaks with Dr. Amanda Zane, a U.S. Army veteran, pediatrician, author, and retired lieutenant colonel. Raised in central Illinois, Dr. Zane fulfilled her childhood dream of becoming a doctor, earning her BS in science from Illinois State University and her doctor of osteopathic medicine from Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. Cool interview. She shares some of her personal stories from being in the military and what is an osteopathic doctor really do. So check it out, Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation podcast, another one, does several shows a week, and you can find their live stuff right here on HMG or on their Facebook page. What do we got here? Hello, guys. How you guys doing? Appreciate you guys jumping on. Keep the comments coming, guys. Appreciate it. I'll get to more of the comments when I'm done here. Label Free podcast is next this week. Mitch Carson, a mentor and coach for CEOs, speakers, authors, as well as a talk show host on NBC. Mitch shares his fascinating journey from becoming an introverted event producer to becoming a sought-after speaker and media expert. This was a really cool episode as well. Shares his story on how being in the media has impacted his personal and professional growth. So check it out, Label Free podcast. Next up, we got your 6 at 6 with the People's Patriot Project. I say that. Let me just say the People's Patriot Project, because they do a weekly debrief on Monday nights. We Got Your 6 at 6 is their Sunday night show, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. They got their debrief on Monday nights. You can check them out live on their Facebook page, and I believe they do the live, or they've done the live on HMG pages as well. People's Patriot Project, check it out. Love their shows. And I'm noticing kind of a trend. I just realized this is a fun fact. We got quite a few shows on HMG that do multiple shows throughout the week. and you can find him here. So that's another reason to be thankful. What do we got next? Other side of the firewall. These guys do a show every single day, Monday through Friday. This one that I picked this week, the conversation explores the proposed cybersecurities requirements by the TSA for critical infrastructure, particularly focusing on pipelines and railroads. This was a big one on, like, can you hack the transportation systems and stuff like that? And what does that mean for everybody? How do we protect those systems? What's the role of the government versus private industry in ensuring the safety and the potential future for the transportation technology, included automation and its implications for the job security? You wouldn't think this is stuff we need to know, but this is all good things that you really do need to know. And I love this show because they talk about the IT stuff, which I'm completely just literally, I don't know a thing about. So I've learned a lot from this show. It's called The Other Side of the Firewall. Check it out. What do we got next? Last up, certainly not least, chasing happiness this week. How to transform that pesky inner critic into a powerful ally. This episode, we're going to explore 5 actionable strategies for harnessing the power of your inner critic instead of letting you derail your happiness, and instead of letting it derail your happiness and success. Whether you're feeling a weight of recent political shifts or grappling with personal challenges, these insights will empower you to take change of your mindset and create a lasting change. This is really good. I love ending on a positive one. It's called Chasing Happiness. Real quick, I got to give shouts out. Shout out to My Tax Fella, our network sponsors and partners. My Tax Fella. Tax season's right around the corner already. Can you believe that? If you're looking to start a business, and those of you that have businesses, don't forget, I should have brought this up. I wanted to. The Business Transparency Act. Look that up. It's that's all I'm going to say. I can't say anything because I'm going to get flagged for it. I know I will. But My Tax Fella, go check them out. MyTaxFella.com. Anthony and his crew over there have been great. We've worked with them for the last 9 years. If you need bookkeeping, you need your taxes done, you got questions on stuff, they're absolutely the best in the business. Forget genetics, veteran-owned business. They have the best hunting stuff that you can, find. This is the type of stuff that the stuff that Barry's created. This is the stuff that you want in the woods during hunting season. Before hunting season, bring all the animals in. You're gonna love it. Forget genetic. Or if you just like having animals in your yard or in the woods, great for that. Check it out. Forgetgenetics.com. Motorcycle safety lawyers. I say it every week. Again, if you ride a motorcycle, these guys need to be on your speed dial. And this organization, this company does a lot for the veteran community and first responder community. Check it out. Jim Neary's Live Bait and Tackle. Love these guys to death. They've been a huge supporter of ours for many, many years. Them and Warriors on the Water LTD, great organization as well. Go check them both out. Jim's got a great new site up on his. JB Auto Clothiers, sporting the suit and keeping me well dressed. JB Auto Clothiers. You follow them on social media. Hit them up if you want a suit. We just had somebody suited up here recently, and we got told that their suits are being shipped to them, so we're excited about that. Veteran-owned business, bespoke suits, jackets, tuxedos, made to measure specifically for you. Go check them out. And then last, certainly not least, HMG Beverage. Go to hmgbeverage.com or hmgcoffee.com. Check out what we have in stock right now. We are restocking everything over the holidays that we've been out of for a little bit. And we got some new stuff coming out in 2025 first quarter. So stay tuned for that, as we will have some specials running during those times as well. What else? That's it. Listen, guys, if you want something fun to do, or you just need a good laugh, again, I want to bring up Office Joe. I got no ties with them. I'm not getting paid to say this. This isn't a sponsorship of any means. This is just a plug. This was a really cool show, quite frankly. I had a good laugh on it. It's just funny. It's funny. It's done well. Um, and everybody, I think everybody needs a laugh. So if you need something this weekend, go check out Office Joe. It's out now. It's on multiple streaming platforms. By all means, go check it out. That's it. Next week, we're going to be live from Wisconsin. I'm not sure where yet, but we're going to be there. That's where we'll be, right? Appreciate you all. If you have a podcast and you're looking for a home, go check out HMG. Come check us out. We'd love to have you on. Give us a shout, or you can just drop us a DM in one of the social platforms, or you can email us at podcast@heroesmediagrp.com. Get outside this weekend, folks. Shut the computers off. Go do something with the family. Read a book. Do something for yourself. Be positive. Control your mind, what you put in it. I appreciate you all. God bless you. God bless America. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.